It's the Wells Fargo Minnesota Sports Prep Update for Tuesday, November 19th. I'm Ryan Phelps. The state swimming and diving meet continues today, finishes up tomorrow. And outside of that, the only thing left for the fall sports season is football. The state championships at Prep Bowl 32 are the Friday and Saturday following Thanksgiving. And we'll see some new faces in this year's finals. And ironically, one of them is very recognizable. Legendary coach Ron Stolsky from Brainerd, who's the winningest all-time coach in Minnesota, was one of the architects behind the Prep Bowl back in 1982. But in his 8 previous trips to the state tournament, his Warriors have never qualified for the championship game. That is until this year. Brainerd will take on Owatonna in the finale Saturday in the 5A championship game at 4 o'clock. Owatonna, last year's runner-up, also had second-place finishes in 1982 and 98. The other 4 teams competing on Saturday have all won at least one championship. New London Spicer, St. Croix Lutheran, Dawson Boyd, and the standout in the group is Monoman. They'll be looking for their 8th state championship. Another newcomer is Underwood, as they'll play in their first ever Prep Bowl on Friday morning against Grand Meadow in the 9-man finals. And although Grand Meadow has never taken home the big prize, they did finish second in 1987 and once again last year.
I like saving money. I mean, it's not like I have a purse stuffed with coupons or... Okay, I do. The other day, I went into Wells Fargo to get help with a car loan.
Good news. You qualify for our double discount promotion. Get double the interest rate discount we normally give on select new loans and lines of credit just for being a Wells Fargo checking package customer.
And the best part, I didn't even need a coupon.
Come to Wells Fargo to discuss how the double discount promotion can help with the interest rate on your new loan or line of credit. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Subject to credit qualification. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. Equal housing lender.
The old adage is that duct tape can fix everything. But what about electrical tape? Your local Hardware Hank store carries a wide variety of electrical tapes by Gardner Bender in a large variety of colors. Gardner Bender's 7mm colored electrical tape is useful for identifying and insulating wiring and can be used all year round. So give your old roll of duct tape a break and visit your nearest Hardware Hank for Gardner Bender's 7mm colored electrical tape today.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
It's time for our Hardware Hank Nuts and Bolts Athletes of the Week, which are selected every Tuesday based on your nominations to MinnesotaScores.net. Each week we pick 2 winners, one from the Metro and one from Greater Minnesota. The outstate winner is Adam Essler from New London Spicer Football, and the Metro winner is Jeremy Jost from Robbinsdale Adapted Soccer. The Wells Fargo Minnesota Sports Prep Update can be heard right here every Monday through Friday, and for more coverage you can find us on the web at MinnesotaScores.net. That's Minnesota-Scores.net. I'm Ryan Phelps on Minnesota Sports Radio.
It's time for another round of live local play-by-play coverage of Southwest Metro High School sports. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Mulch Store, Performance Therapy Innovations, Alpha Investment Advisors, The Tavern on 4 and 5, The Sun Current, Home Video Studio, and in partnership with BEC TV, Bloomington Educational Cable Television. Catch all of the action all season long on your home for Southwest Metro Sports, PSB Media. Game time is coming up next. On in 40. And we're joined by Rob Friend at the Mulch Store. Rob, a lot of people are finishing up those fall projects, whether it's trimming trees or getting rid of all those leaves. What can people do with those materials once they're done?
Well, they can bring their yard waste into any of our locations and dispose of it for a small fee. And after it's disposed of, we then process it and turn it into compost.
It's also a very easy, straightforward process to stop in at any of those Mulch Store locations, correct?
You just pull into any of the sites, you check in with the gate attendant and pay your small fee, and you're all set to go.
And if people would like more information about the great products and services the Mulch Store offers, what's your website?
mulchstoremn.com.
From the cool and chilly confines of Aldrich Arena, we are about to heat up the winter season in 2013-14. I'm Mike Peden here with Brett Johnson, and PSB Sports is proud to present high school girls hockey. We have perhaps an early prelude to a potential state tournament setting as the Eden Prairie Eagles visit the Hill Murray Pioneers. It's number 3 against number 4 and a rematch of last year's semifinal round in Class 2A.
Yeah, looking forward to a great matchup. These two teams played twice last season. A couple of close games with a tie and also a Hill Murray victory over Eden Prairie. Both these teams highly rated this season, number 3 and number 4 respectively, so should be a good matchup, Mike.
And to be more precise, the 2-2 tie happened in the regular season. The Hill Murray victory came in the state semifinal round. The Pioneers would eventually lose to the Minnetonka Skippers, whose endurance was confirmed in big ways because that was a day after they won the 6 overtime game against Lakeville North. But two schools who are perennial powers. Eden Prairie has a couple of state tournament titles to their credit. Hill Murray does not, but across the board, these are two hockey powers. We're just underway. We play 17-minute periods. No checking allowed in the girls' game. Scoring opportunity number 9. That is blocked by the goalkeeper for Hill Murray. We'll try to get a number for you in a moment. Number 9 was Charlie Dahlquist. She is one of the players to watch for the Eden Prairie Eagles. The Eagles are come into this at 3-0. They have allowed just 2 goals this season, and one of their wins included a 12-0 shutout over Rosemount. Their previous game was a 3-1 win over Lakeville South. Attack chance, that is deflected. Becca Zarembinski got the shot, but it was saved by number 35, Whitney Paget. Paget has 33 saves and 35 shots. Just underway. 15:35. Goal! Hill Murray gets on the board in 85 seconds.
What a start from Hill Murray. A big slap shot from that slot area to give them the early lead.
That was Kenzie Prater, number 19, who scored 85 seconds into the first period.
Let's see if we can get a look at this on replay here, Mike. Taking a look, that puck just came away to where it looks like almost a turnover kind of caused that play. Tough start here for Eden Prairie as Hill Murray, a big slap shot to give them that early lead.
So the goal comes at 1 minute and 25 seconds in the first period. Zarembinski with the assist. And that gives us a chance to actually highlight some of the Hill Murray players to watch. Sarah Bobrowski is one of them last season. 33 points, 19 goals, 14 assists. And that is Hill Murray's first goal of the season because this is their first game.
Yeah, really unusual that Eden Prairie's played 3 games already, and this is the first one of the season for Hill Murray. Eden Prairie also ran into that situation against Lakeville South, and they beat them last week 4-1. That was also the Cougars' first game of the year.
Hill Murray seems to have the neighborly greeting down.
Absolutely.
But clearly it hasn't affected Hill Murray at all coming into this. I was wondering how Eden Prairie, with 3 games under their belt, was going to come in against Hill Murray, who had yet to play a game, and the Pioneers are showing no fear from that intense series of last season.
Well, it's big, too. Again, remember last season, 2-1 in 2-2 games. Goals certainly at a premium. Of course, Eden Prairie last season had Mackenzie Johnson, a Division I recruit. This season they have Whitney Paget, who's between the pipes for Eden Prairie tonight. Transferred over from Maple Grove and has done a nice job this season, but got beat on that early slap shot.
And on offense, Eden Prairie certainly not without its firepower. Charlie Dahlquist is one player to watch. She has 8 points coming into this game, 4 goals, 4 assists. Angie Heppelman, who I believe plays lacrosse.
Yeah, a little bit of lacrosse, and she and Charlie Dahlquist have been playing youth hockey here for a long, long time together. I think since they were like 7 or 8 years old, so they certainly know each other well when they're on the ice at the same time.
Heppelman has 5 goals to lead the Eagles. 13:25 left in the first period. If you just joined us, the Pioneers lead 1-0 on a slap shot from Kenzie Prater, we believe. And we'll confirm the numbers for you when we get to the intermission. Handling it is Charlie Dahlquist, number 9, and we have our first whistle.
Well, Eden Prairie's pretty much decided to go with their standard lines that we've seen so far this season, although Coach Jamie Grossman said don't be surprised if they do some switching towards the end of each period to maybe stack some of their top lines together, as it looks like Eden Prairie's going to get a power play here early on in this game.
That is the case. Penalty is charged to number 3, Laura Anderson of the Pioneers.
Watch out, too. Eden Prairie's power play this season converting at over 50%. Each of their last 2 games, they've had 2 power play goals, so definitely something to watch.
And the power play lineup for the Eagles: Dahlquist, number 9, Josie Olson, 13, Heppelman, number 7, number 16, Chrysalyn Hangler, we believe, and we see number 37, though, out there, Anna Johnson. Those are the lines, but as you said, they'll switch it up. They actually have the second power play lineup in at the moment. And that lineup, with 1:20 left in the power play, includes the person with the puck, number 12, Kate Ridland, number 37.
Yeah, that's Anna Johnson, one of the senior captains on this team.
29, Izzy Brasso, number 5. And there's a line change now. These names will come to me in a moment. Allison Kolaski at number 15. Ashley Astor. But now they have the first line. Olsen fighting for control. Gets it off to Dahlquist. Looking for the pass to Olsen, but it was deflected by number 11, Becca Zarembinski. Into the back zone, and we're going to have a delayed penalty on Hill Murray. Save by number 1, Leah Patrick, but there was a trip that sent Josie Olsen crashing to the ice. And for 34 seconds, the Eagles will get a 2-woman advantage.
I was going to say Hill Murray had really looked good so far on the penalty kill, but an unfortunate trip-up call will give Eden Prairie the 5-on-3 advantage. Now, the Pioneers so far not giving the Eagles many chances here on the power play, but we'll see if the 5-on-3 gives them a little more space to work with.
They have 30 seconds of a 2-woman advantage. Wrong gender. The penalty is assessed to Taylor Wimple for tripping. Again, no checking, but otherwise it's similar to the men's game. Dahlquist losing control, and Hill Murray clears it out, and that's big, because that will at least kill off the 2-player advantage, although there's still 5 seconds. Number 6 racing down, Lauren Boyle trying to get an opening, and good defense by the Pioneers to stave off that attack. But the Eagles still have a player advantage here for 1:20.
What a job a second ago by Hangler to hold that puck in to keep possession.
Scramble, and it's frozen by the keeper, Leah Patrick. Substitutions, and of course massive ones usually come in. We see Kate Smith, number 18, one of the players to watch. Mackenzie Steffen, number 12, and number 15, Rachel Herzog. Kate Smith last year, 14 goals, 8 assists for 22 points. Shot, that's stopped by Patrick, but it goes right back to Lauren Boyle. Boyle coming into this game, just 1 goal and 1 assist. But again, it's early.
And she's one of the top defensemen in the entire state, and what you're really going to see a lot in this game, Mike, Lauren Boyle, a tremendous skater. When she gets the puck in her own zone, she is not afraid to go coast to coast, so
and
an excellent
Prairie
skater.
Will be assessed with their first penalty, so that will cancel out the power play, and for the next 49 seconds, it's going to be 4-on-4.
It looks like they'll send Josie Olsen to the box. I believe last season only picked up a couple of penalties, so kind of rare for her, and certainly open up the ice here with a little 4-on-4 hockey for about a minute.
Olsen, one of the captains. Anna Johnson, the other captain listed. It is on Josie Olsen. And we have 4-on-4 for the next 45 seconds. Picked up by number 15, Ashley Astor. Passing it to number 2, Naomi Rogie. And she's tripped up, but that's going to be a penalty on Hill Murray. And so the Eagles, in 9 seconds, go back to a power play.
I'll try to figure out these special team stats tonight. What counts as a power play, what doesn't. I was never good at doing that, but you know, there's been a lot of penalties in this game, but I can't really fault the referees. I mean, these are
They're
pretty
clear.
legitimate, clear fouls.
This isn't your ticky-tack 50-50 calls. These are legitimate. Not that I would recommend ever taking somebody out, but no, the officials are doing their job. They're calling contact when they see it. Winning the face-off was Dahlquist. Had a shot, but Patrick shrubs it off. Dahlquist on the wraparound. Looked for her target, number 7. Angie Heppelman couldn't find her. Heppelman played on the lacrosse team. I believe they got to the finished third last year.
Yeah, they got upset in the semifinals, which was huge
by Lakeville
because
North.
Yeah, Blake and Eden Prairie, just a little lacrosse story, had played in the state championship like the last 7 years.
Shot by Boyle goes wide. Corralled by Crystal and Hengler. And another shot. That's deflected, but it goes back to Boyle. Hengler on the left side. Dahlquist. And now we go back to 4-on-4 for the next 1 minute and 5 seconds. There's about a 9-second differential between penalties, so effectively no power play situation unless we get another penalty.
Kind of a missed opportunity there for Eden Prairie. They had a 4-on-3 power play, which is certainly a lot easier to work with than a 5-on-4. So far in this game, they've had, almost 2 minutes of 5-on-3 or 4-on-3 power play time, but haven't been able to cross the goal
breaking
line.
Through, and good defense, deflecting that shot. Rachel Herzog got in there to disrupt the attack from Dahlquist. 9 minutes and 3 seconds left in the first period. Hill Murray up 1-0 thanks to that goal 85 seconds in from Prairie. Number 5 has it, Allison Koloski. She's got numbers, but nobody to help her out. Koloski, though, gets the rebound. Strong defense by Mackenzie Steffen, and Hill Murray sends it to the backside. Steffen picks it up. Steffen, 24 assists last season for the Pioneers. As we mentioned in the opening, number 3 against number 4. This could be a potential state tournament matchup come February. And that icing?
Yeah, it looks so, as we were, I guess, technically even strength, I think.
Well,
I think they maybe
Eden
called a
Prairie
hand
has
pass or
2
something,
seconds
too.
of a power play scenario. Maybe offsides is the call. Still picking up the intricacies of the sport of hockey.
Yeah, usually you're our basketball guy, but we figured we get you a little cold for the first time this winter.
This is my first hockey assignment in over 4 years, so it'll come back. But I've already said this broadcast is going much more smoothly than my last one. In that instance, my color guy ended up becoming a clone of myself. Basically had 2 play-by-play guys calling the same thing.
Uh-oh.
Hill Murray on the attack, and that's rebutted by Eden Prairie. And it goes back into the Hill Murray zone. Picked up by number 8, Kennedy Hogue. Taylor Lambert. Some shifty defense around, shifty evasion around Naomi Rogie. And Paget freezes it. That goal that Paget allowed, by the way, 85 seconds in, was just her 3rd of the season. The other goalie Eden Prairie uses, Alexa Dobchuk, is an 8th grader. Has not allowed a goal yet, although her performance came against Rosemount. She only took 7 shots.
Yeah, that was a very young Rosemount team that Eden Prairie played last week. A team that had 20 of their 31 players as 9th graders or younger. You could tell they had a tough time, but still always tough when you face so few shots because it's tough to kind of get in the rhythm. And I was still impressed with Dobchuk, I should say, in that game. And Jamie Grossman very high on her coming into the season. Said even though she's an 8th grader, she's not here because of a lack of numbers. She's here because she's that good playing on the varsity roster.
Eden Prairie called for icing with 7 minutes and 16 seconds left. And the sport of girls hockey, not a lot of parity exists. The sport has only been around for what's now its 20th season. It began in 94-95, but getting an early season matchup against 2 state perennials in Hill Murray and Eden Prairie is a good testing ground, because I'm sure both schools will be looking at tape from this game, especially if they meet against each other. And, of course, Eden Prairie playing in the Lake Conference, so they're going to get 2 matches with Minnetonka.
Well, how about this, looking at the rankings? Get this, 5 of the 7 top teams rated in the AP poll are from the Lake Conference.
That doesn't surprise me, considering the support for the sport of hockey out there. But Minnetonka still reigning supreme. 3 state tournaments in a row in Class 2A, and while this is a big game between 2 semifinal participants, I've got a feeling that if any of these schools want to be considered a favorite, they're going to have to find a way to beat Minnetonka.
Or Benilde, since we've heard a lot that Benilde might be the team to beat too. But you're right, Minnetonka, they lost some players. But
and another goal for the Pioneers. What a start. That's Mackenzie Steffen who scores.
Let's see if we can grab that one on replay. A quick 2-0 lead for Hill Murray. Just caught the Eagles in transition. Whitney Paget gave up that rebound, and that came back to bite her. And now it's 2-0 in favor of the Pioneers.
Steffen gets the breakaway goal, the transition goal. A little surprised to be discussing transition offense in the sport of hockey, but it comes at 10 minutes and 45 seconds in the first period. Eden Prairie coming into this game, going back to the 2012-13 season, 15-0-3 when they scored 3 goals or more. Right now, they're staring at a 2-0 deficit.
Absolutely, and of course when they had given up more than 3 goals, that record certainly not as good if you just go ahead and do the math, but still early in this game, and Eden Prairie has plenty of firepower as they return just about every one of their leading scorers from last season.
Claire Jamar stole the puck and launches it over to Patrick, but that was stopped. And Patrick holding her own so far against Eden Prairie's attacks.
Yeah, she's had a pretty solid game. Eden Prairie hasn't necessarily had any, real grade A scoring chances, but she's made the saves she's had to so far, and it's kind of been a real steady force so far between the pipes for Hill-Murray.
Herzog clears the puck so Hill-Murray can get their line change.
Oh, almost a big turnover there. I'm sure Grossman not happy about those cross-ice passes in your own zone.
Similar to the sport of basketball, how the cross-court passes can be picked off.
Fortunately, though, on that play, an Eagle player was able to get her stick in there to break up any near-disaster situation.
And now they get out of that zone. There's Anna Johnson, but she's trapped behind a double team, and Hill-Murray will take control. But not if Riddle has anything to say about it. Patrick with another save, and the puck is frozen.
I've been really interested in so far in this game, Mike. Eden Prairie's first line, of course, very highly touted when you have players like Dahlquist and Heppelman, but really haven't seen them get a whole lot of opportunities in this game, and I think you really got to credit the Hill-Murray defense. Again, not giving Eden Prairie many good scoring chances.
4 minutes, 24 seconds left in the first period. 2-0 in favor of the Pioneers, playing in their first game of the season. I know the phrase opening day jitters is used to the point of being cliche, but Hill-Murray does not know the meaning of that phrase, at least in the first period.
Well, they've got a lot of talent on their squad, a couple of Division Run recruits, including Sarah Bobrowski, who I believe already has a point in this game. Mike, I know you got the official numbers there, but
I have the scoring numbers, and I'll get the official numbers for you.
Mm-hmm. But, this is a very talented Hill-Murray team, so even though it's their first game, they've been practicing hard, and talent can certainly help with those jitters you're talking about.
And we have a stoppage in play with 3:45. I believe it's for a penalty.
Yeah, it looks like Charlie Dahlquist will get sent to the box. Of course, she was Eden Prairie's leading scorer last season, but one of the things she's trying to improve on is to cut down those penalty minutes. She led the team in scoring last season, but unfortunately also led the team in penalty minutes. Although I should say, towards the second half of last season, did do a better job staying out of the box, but this could be a big situation here late in the first period. Certainly don't want to fall behind by 3 goals.
This is just her second penalty of the short season, but you're putting an already potent Hill-Murray offense on the power play.
And almost a weird deflection behind the net, bounced back in front and almost gave the Pioneers a chance.
That goes off and behind the nets, cleared out along the wall. Hill-Murray has to go back to retrieve it, but they still have plenty of time in the power play, 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, don't want to let up if you're Hill-Murray. As I said, this is a big-time opportunity as they have numbers here on a 4-on-2 rush, but good job.
And a chance to start the season with a quality win.
And to get a 3-0 lead in the first period would be monstrous.
They're looking for it, but Padgett with a couple of nice saves. Kate Smith was on the attack, close to the net. And Padgett freezes the puck, and I don't think Padgett's faced the situation. I know she allowed 2 goals coming in, and now she's given up 2 goals in a period. That's going to challenge the mental endurance, I would imagine, of the sophomore. And a couple of young goalies on Eden Prairie's side. We talked about Alexa Dobchuk. She's an 8th grader. And the other person on the varsity roster, Elizabeth Kubicek, a freshman. So very young females between the pipes.
Yeah, it certainly happens, though, when you lose a 4-year starter between the pipes. Oh, great job.
And there's a nice diving save.
Yeah, that was redirected on the way to Paget. Good job to stay with that puck. Those are the toughest saves to make, because that really took a wicked redirection.
And those are the signs you're going to be looking for. Again, it's early, and what you see here may not be what you see later on should these two teams meet in the state tournament, because brackets are seeded.
Oh, you're killing me, Mike. We're only in November, and you're talking about February.
Well, you spoke of the talent, though, and how both schools bring back a lot of familiar names, a lot of talent.
You just reminded me of how long winter is now.
At least how long last winter was. It went all the way into April. All the baseball games you had to cancel because of snow.
You got it.
And a good job by Eden Prairie here. They're going to kill off the penalty.
We talked about Hill Murray's penalty kill a while ago. Good job by Eden Prairie. The Pioneers did have some good chances the first half of the power play, but the Eagles really shut them down during the last minute of that man advantage.
And Whitney Paget's saves certainly didn't hurt.
Yeah, again, going back to that shot that was from the blue line that got redirected somehow on the way to the net, doing a good job to get her leg pad on that one to make a big save. That was a tough one to make, and a good job to keep this a 2-goal game.
But another penalty coming up against Eden Prairie, and that's going to be against Ashley Astor. She made contact with number 20, Megan Toninato, and I think they're going to get her for roughing.
Yeah, let's see if I can grab this one on replay here for you, Mike. Looks like Astor was just trying to hold it in on the blue line, and kind of a coincidental play. She just happened to be in the wrong place in the wrong time as the Hill Murray player was going for the puck. Unfortunately, she kind of ran into Astor's leg, and that led to the penalty.
There was no ill intent, but as you pointed out, sometimes luck and physics do not go together. And it's a very cordial sport. You don't see a lot of animosity or angst or anger towards opponents.
Well, it's interesting.
But sometimes you run into each other, there's not much you can do about it.
I was going to say, too, a lot of these players, too, especially the elite ones, have played on all sorts of elite teams, national teams, so they know each other, too. Like I know a lot of the Eden Prairie and Minnetonka players, when they had met last season, had played against each other at the youth levels and also on the same team during different elite events.
Shot opportunity, that goes wide right. That came from number 12, Mackenzie Steffen. She already has one goal. Number 9 had a shot there. Brittany Anderson couldn't get a handle on it. 20 seconds left in the first period, and Hill Murray still in the attack zone. Now they reset, but a good deflection getting in there to intercept the pass was Jody Olson. She tries to break away, but can't do so. She will clear the line enough, though, for a line change. 3 seconds left. Hill Murray going to get Eden Prairie, I'll say, would get a shot off, but a nice glove save by Leah Patrick. It was Isabel Brasso with the shot attempt, but Patrick, very strong performance at goalie so far. Hill Murray takes a 2-0 lead as we entered the first intermission.
Yeah, good game so far, Mike. Hill Murray's just taken advantage of the chances when they've had them so far in this game. And for Eden Prairie, didn't really give themselves a chance to get into a rhythm with a lot of special teams play. And of course, when you spend the last 3 minutes of that period on the penalty, kind of breaks up your rhythm too. So interesting to see what kind of adjustments both teams make into the second period. Your Hill Murray, I guess you kind of keep playing and keep doing what you're doing. Pretty impressive for playing in their first game. But for Eden Prairie, just try to get a little more puck movement going and stay out of the box.
It is worth noting that coming out of the intermission, the Pioneers will still have 44 seconds of the power play as a result of the penalty against Ashley Astor. We'll review the stats for you and confirm what we know so far. This is the first intermission as we get ready to resurface the ice. It's high school girls hockey here on PSB Sports.
We're speaking with Rob Friend at the mulch store. Rob, once people have finished up trimming those trees or raking those leaves, how easy is it for them to stop in at the mulch store to drop off those materials, or maybe even pick up some mulch for next year?
Well, if you want to stop in and drop off, you come in, check in at the gate attendant, and they'll point you in the right direction after you pay a small fee. And if you're ready to pick up something to do a final garden or mulch project, pick out the product you want, pay for the fee, and we'll load up a trailer or a pickup truck if you have that. If not, we do have delivery available.
And of course, you guys have locations all over the metro area.
That's right. For locations and more information on delivery, you can check us out at our website, mulchstoremn.com.
Think about the best athletes in the world, no matter the sport. How did they rise above the competition? These athletes didn't get to the top of their game on talent alone. They trained hard, and they trained right. PTI will work with your athlete to reach new heights. They'll get a high-level customized program from a skilled professional who truly cares about and understands your athlete's needs. The results of PTI will give your son or daughter the confidence and determination to unleash their full potential. Performance Therapy Innovations, where athletes get results.
He sure looks good.
He does. It's hard to believe he was ever sick. But the bills, they just keep coming.
You remember the life insurance you bought years ago? It has living benefits that you could use for times like this.
Mom, he's sick. No, honey, he's fine.
Don't worry, your hair will go back. Mine did.
State Farm puts the life back in life insurance with benefits you can use when you need them most.
Visit Brandy Warmbier's State Farm Insurance Office, located off Singletree and Flying Cloud Drive, online at brandywarmbier.com.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
First intermission here on PSB as we're live from Aldrich Arena here in Maplewood, Minnesota. One of the legendary rinks here in Minnesota that's hosted lots of section hockey games for both boys and girls. 2-0, the Hill Murray Pioneers have the lead over Eden Prairie. Mike Peden down there getting the official stats from that first period. He'll pass those along to you in just a couple of seconds. While we have a moment, though, do want to remind you that we have lots of girls hockey games on the way this season, as we'll be covering Eden Prairie and also the new Bloomington cooperative program, as both Jefferson and Kennedy have merged. You can find that full schedule on psbmn.com. Just use that Team Sports drop-down menu. Coming up for the girls hockey team this season. Don't have a ton of games for you, at least for the first part of the season for the Eagles. Just running down that whole schedule. I believe our next broadcast will come your way in December. It'll actually be on December 10th when the Eden Prairie takes on Breck. Other highlights on our schedule, of course, includes the Eagles' midwinter meltdown. Then we will also have 7 of Eden Prairie's last 8 hockey games, which should be fun, as that's when they get into Lake Conference play. If you're tuning in for Hail Murray, certainly glad to have you with us here at Aldrich Arena in Maplewood. Been a good game so far. Certainly you've been impressed with both teams. As Mike was saying during the action, this certainly could be a state tournament preview. Well, go ahead and take a timeout, and Mike will have the first period totals for you on the way next, right here on PSB Media. And we're joined by Rob Friend at the Mulch Store. Rob, a lot of people are finishing up those fall projects, whether it's trimming trees or getting rid of all those leaves. What can people do with those materials once they're done?
Well, they can bring their yard waste into any of our locations and dispose of it for a small fee. And after it's disposed of, we then process it and turn it into compost.
It's also a very easy, straightforward process to stop in at any of those Mulch Store locations, correct?
You just pull into any of the sites, you check in with the gate attendant and pay your small fee, and you're all set to go.
And if people would like more information about the great products and services the Mulch Store offers, what's your website?
mulchstoremn.com.
Think about the best athletes in the world, no matter the sport. How did they rise above the competition? These athletes didn't get to the top of their game on talent alone. They trained hard, and they trained right. PTI will work with your athlete to reach new heights. They'll get a high-level customized program from a skilled professional who truly cares about and understands your athlete's needs. The results of PTI will give your son or daughter the confidence and determination to unleash their full potential. Performance Therapy Innovations, where athletes get results.
And we rejoin you here at Old Rich Arena. High school girls hockey, Eden Prairie and Hill Murray. Mike Peden here with Brett Johnson. The Hill Murray Pioneers lead 2-0 over the Eden Prairie Eagles in a battle between the third-ranked team and the fourth-ranked team in Class 2A. And Eden Prairie with a strong attack, 14 shots, but nothing to show for thanks to the stingy defense of Leah Patrick, and Hill Murray just 8 shots, but they made the most of it. 1 minute and 25 seconds into the first period, it was Jessica Bonfie who scored the first goal for the Pioneers. She had 8 last year. And then 11 minutes and 45 seconds in, it was Mackenzie Steffen on that breakaway or that transition goal that you saw here on PSB. Brett, I'd say it was a very strong introduction out of the Pioneers, who had not played a game until tonight.
Yeah, they look awfully sharp, and I'm really surprised by those numbers that you said. What, it was 14-8 in shots on goal? I mean,
in favor of Eden Prairie.
Yeah, to me it feels like it should be pretty even, if not maybe even favoring Hill Murray. Granted, those power plays helped at the end of the period, but I guess sometimes the numbers can be a little interesting in hockey games, in any sport for that matter.
And speaking of power plays, Hill Murray still has 42 seconds of a power play from the penalty against Ashley Astor late in the first period. We begin period number 2. If you haven't picked up on it by now, Hill Murray wearing the home white and green, and Eden Prairie wearing the black. And did we get icing or an offside call?
And we got an icing against Hill Murray, which not what you want to do when you have that player advantage. Trying to hit that home run pass, and that's risky to do with that player advantage.
We have an organ, too.
Kind of old school. Feel like you're at a 60s or 70s hockey game. I like it, though.
Or playing a round of NHL 94.
Well, see, I'll take the organ music over, I guess, whatever the latest pop song is. I kind of like that. I kind of like that style. The best, though, is when you actually have a live band playing at those stoppages. That's my favorite.
There's Steffen, who wraps around. Pass goes behind. And it's picked up by Brittany Anderson, number 9. Shot is deflected. Steffen picks it up on the left wing. She fires. That shot is wide right. Scramble for the puck. And Eden Prairie will clear it as the power play is killed off.
I was going to say, if I hear Katy Perry and roar at another sporting event.
I heard that song plenty of times, and I will probably hear it a few more times. Here's Anna Johnson, who's hoping to roar on the scoreboard. Saved by Patrick. Wow.
And what a rebound chance there for Charlie Dahlquist.
And that shot just went a little wide on Dahlquist's end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good opportunity there for Eden Prairie. They need more of those, of getting some quick transition chances. And, well, first time we've really seen the goaltender for Hill Murray give up a big rebound like that, too.
Patrick, a junior, though, has a little more experience than the Eden Prairie contingent of goalies. Even though, speaking ironically, the Eagles have played 3 games already, have won all 3. Hill Murray, this is their first. Offside is the call.
Close play there at the blue line, but hey, you'll take it if you're an Eden Prairie fan. But if you're a Hill Murray fan, think you can be a little more liberal with that offsides there, referee.
That ended a potential chance for Jessica Bonfie. 15:24 left in the second period. Hill Murray wins the faceoff, though, but they can't handle the pass, and it's going to go right to the Eden Prairie side, and picked up by Lauren Boyle, who passes over to Koloski. Control on the near side. And now Hill Murray scoops it, but behind the back pass was off target. It was intended for number 8, Kennedy Hogue. And Eden Prairie's going to get a chance, but Hill Murray clears it out, at least for the moment.
Like the vision there by Angie Heppelman. She was trying to go weak side on that play, but Hill Murray defense in good position, though. Like the thinking, though, from Heppelman.
Engler, that shot was wide right. Heppelman has control. Now the Pioneers looking to get on a run. They'll clear the puck and change lines.
They're talking about in that first period, Michael. Actually, let's wait for this chance here first. I was going to say that. I was talking about how Hill Murray's done a nice job against Eden Prairie's first line. They've done a similar job against Lauren Boyle, the big defenseman for Eden Prairie. Usually it seems like at least once per period she has one of those rushes where she goes coast to coast and sets up a good scoring chance, but so far has not had any. And again, got to credit Hill Murray to playing good defense, really keeping these Eagles' big players in check.
Icing on Eden Prairie. Eagles won the faceoff. Of course, the school gearing up for another trip to the state football championship in Class 6A. And now they're gearing up for a scoring chance. And that was deflected. I believe it was Stefan who disrupted the shot from Naomi Rogie.
And Rogie did a nice job putting on a great move to set up that chance, too. Good job for the youngster seeing her first action on the varsity team this year. I should say she's played in previous games, but this is her first year on the varsity roster.
And for Jamie Grossman, the head coach, a situation he hasn't seen all season, how do you think he approached it during that first intermission?
You know, it's a good learning experience for his team. When we talked to him last season, he said the first half of the season is always about learning and improving for his girls' hockey team. He really emphasizes there's a big turnover in front that almost led to a chance, but I was going to say that Jamie Grossman's really all about the second half of the season. That's where he puts more stock into wins and losses. So, I mean, you like to be ahead 2-0 rather than down, but again, it's a good learning experience for once you get to those more critical games in the second half of the year.
Hill Murray wins the faceoff. They had a chance, but Laura Anderson couldn't get it past Paget. Eden Prairie clears the puck out. But they're looking for an attacking chance of their own. Patrick with the save and getting the puck away was Anderson. That was a huge opportunity for Ridland, but Patrick once again shutting the door.
I think also what Jamie Grossman said in that first intermission, move your feet. Eden Prairie doing a much better job moving their feet. They've created many more scoring chances here in this second period, I should say, than that first period.
But now Hill Murray wins control. Mackenzie Steffen, long shot, wide right. But that will clear the lines for the moment. Ridland with numbers. Patrick with another save. Number 15, Rachel Herzog has it. She loses control.
Big turnover there. Almost led to a chance for Eden Prairie.
Josie Olson back on the ice.
Well, the first time we've seen Hill Murray make a mistake in their own end, that one almost cost them as they had a wide open Eden Prairie player in front on that chance.
Patrick has bailed them out, though, on a couple of those miscues. When you have a strong goalie, you can afford those mistakes. And Eden Prairie trying to get control. But Hill Murray will hang on to it. Kennedy Hogue has it, and Engler trying to bat it away, can't do so. Shot, not quite the lane that number 21, Lexi Klein, was looking for, so the Pioneers will reset the offense. And a light tap, or a lob, I should say, just a soft jab from Kennedy Hogue.
Yeah, I think trying to get a deflection in front, shooting that through traffic, not a bad play, but as you said, didn't get a whole lot on that one, though.
Not a lot of velocity. Off-speed shot, if you will. .11 minutes remaining in the first period. Second period. Hill Murray still with a 2-0 lead. Looking to remove the undefeated mark that Eden Prairie has. Breakaway chance for the Pioneers. Jack Kaza scores! Jack Kaza at 10:42 on the breakaway.
Well, let's grab this here on replay. A turnover at the blue line for Eden Prairie led to that chance, and she just showed great speed. Went to the backhand on Whitney Paget, making a tremendous move, but the turnovers will always get you. Eden Prairie couldn't hold it in at their own blue line, and that allowed Hill Murray to turn that 2-on-1 into a full-out breakaway.
Kaza, the sophomore forward, gets her first goal of the season, and the Pioneers with a 3-0 lead, and you discussed it, not having exact figures, but that 3-goal margin. Eden Prairie up by 3, haven't lost the last 18 games, down by 3, different story.
Absolutely. This is going to be a good challenge for Eden Prairie. Even last season when they went to the state tournament, they lost some games during the season, but did not have many opportunities where they were down by 3 goals in a hockey game. Going to see what this team is made of, and what's really tough is that Eden Prairie was doing some good things at the beginning of that second period, creating some scoring chances, but that turnover really took away their momentum.
This is going to be a huge tutoring experience for Paget. Just 2 goals in her first 2 games coming into this matchup, and she's already given up 3.
Not totally inexperienced, though. She did play for Maple Grove in some previous seasons, but as he said, though, certainly not used to being behind by 3 goals.
Not used to giving up 3 goals in a game. Eden Prairie with a chance, but
Wow.
that was deflected. Taylor Wemple with perhaps a goal-saving deflection.
Yeah, breaking up that 2-on-1. Eden Prairie
And now
wanted.
Hill Murray has numbers. Paget with the stop. Didn't mean to jump on you, but
Go
some
ahead,
high-flying
yeah.
action here in the second period, and now I believe a penalty was called.
Yeah, 2 bad things happened for Eden Prairie. 2 good things happened for Hill Murray, I should say.
Crystal and Hangler will be charged with the penalty. Pioneers go back in the power play.
And what really helped start that chance was that diving stop on that 2-1 by the Hill Murray defenseman to break up that opportunity for Eden Prairie as they were trying to pass it to the other player, and Hill Murray in transition made them pay, creating that scoring chance and drew a penalty.
And a huge chance, a couple of chances. That one was deflected. Now it's behind Paget. Hill Murray trying to find the puck. They do. Too close to the goalkeeper, Paget. Goalie, I should say. This isn't soccer. Same position.
They get the idea.
But a couple of chances, and the Pioneers on offense now putting some pressure on Eden Prairie, and not just on the scoreboard.
Good puck movement so far on this power play, but Eden Prairie's done a nice job thus far, at least keeping it along the rail and not letting them get it towards the center part of the ice.
Pioneers reset the offense. Shot, that's deflected into the back of the wall. Right in front of Paget. Out to Rachel Herzog. And scooped up by Zarambinski. She had an assist in the first goal of the game. Tried to get another one, couldn't do so. Samantha Boyer had the shot, and Paget coming up with some big saves. 1 minute left in the power play. .8:18 left in the second, and this will give both lines a chance to change up and maybe freshen up. That was an intense sequence. Face off in the neutral zone. Won by the Pioneers. Kennedy Hogue, one of the captains. Actually, that's number 9, Brittany Anderson. Senior defender. The puck is cleared. This is what Eden Prairie needs. Picked up by Bobrowski. Bobrowski, the top scorer on last year's team. Now a shorthanded opportunity, but that shot was stopped. Koloski with the shot. Patrick again with another key save.
And a good job by Koloski picking the pocket of Sarah Bobrowski, one of the best players here in Minnesota. For kind of a highlight reel for her, and actually made a pretty good opportunity of it, firing a good shot on the goaltender and getting a shorthanded chance for Eden Prairie.
But for Leah Patrick, this is turning into a highlight reel on her end. Did that cross the line?
How did that not cross the line is my question. Let's get a look at this one on replay, Mike. That really looked like it was going to go into me. I wonder, it looked like she was trying to go high, but just unfortunately put the puck low. That may be the reason why that didn't go in. Because if she went upstairs on that shot or got any sort of lift, that for sure would have been a goal for the Pioneers.
They had Paget on the ground. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second period. And it looks like the Eagles are going to kill off the power play. That's one element they've done well. Preventing scoring opportunities with the player down. But Hill Murray making the most of the transition opportunities that you spoke of. Eppelman trying to bat it to Rogie, can't do so. And the Pioneers pick it up. Steffen to number 10, Haley Blinkhorn. Line change as the Pioneers clear it. And a nice stop by Rachel Herzog getting in the passing lane. Eden Prairie in the first period may have had the advantage in shots on goal, and we'll get an update at the end of the second, but I would venture to guess Hill Murray has the advantage in attack zone time.
I would agree with that, and as you said, Eden Prairie fired 14 shots on goal in the first period. Normally you think, hey, that's pretty good, but a lot of those weren't very good scoring chances. I think they played much better first few minutes here of this second period than they did in the first period and even in the last few minutes or so, but again, that weird 2-on-1 turnover really is what switched the momentum Hill Murray's way.
5 minutes, 48 seconds left in the second period. We remain at a 3-0 score. I don't know how many times Eden Prairie was shut out last season, but I can't imagine this occurs with much frequency.
Interesting you bring that up. I'd have to look at their results from last year, but I want to venture to guess they did not get shut out last season. I could be wrong, though.
Still a lot of time left, so we're not implying Eden Prairie's not going to score in this game. And how about that on a one-hop? Hill Murray increases their lead to 4-0. An unexpected goal, but I'm sure a big one for Kennedy Hogue. She'll take it.
Boy, I want to look at that one more time as you can
Where
see it.
Where did that come from?
I'm looking right there. She fired off kind of a snapshot, and just Whitney Padgett just didn't get a clear hold of that puck. And that's the reason it went into the net. She just kind of let the puck play her instead. It bounced over her shoulder and into the net for a goal.
And I watched it live. It looked like Padgett got the stop but did not follow up.
Yep, you're exactly right as I was watching there on replay.
And sometimes the recoil bites you. But again, as you said, learning experience. Get through those issues now instead of later in the season. But it's a goal for Kennedy Hogue, and the Pioneers have a 4-0 lead. Remember, neither team scored more than 2 goals in the series between these two last season.
Well, this actually equals the total of goals that Hill Murray scored against Eden Prairie last season.
Right, the total number, but in a game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We still got a lot of hockey left to play in this one.
And 4 different Hill Murray players have put the puck through the net.
That's why you can tell you're normally our basketball guy, right?
Basketball, football. Hello, we had a collision there, but no penalty called against Dahlquist.
Yeah, Charlie Dahlquist might be a little fortunate on that one, but hey, nothing wrong with a little physical play.
Dahlquist has found herself in some contact plays, and she slips up on the ice and crashes into her own goalpost. And she gets a tap on the head from Kate Ridland, saying, shake it off. It's all right.
Oh, they're tough.
I'm sure Ridland has found her a few moments where she found her posterior on the frozen surface. I know I have. It's cold.
Well, I forgot. Can you skate, Mike, or are you not a skater?
Not well.
Not well. That's kind of my style, too.
I'd be more suited for the adapted floor hockey.
Yeah, the style I used to play.
If the state high school league were to make that into a sport for the non-adapted folks, as I wouldn't have qualified.
Well, you just need a bad skater division for you, right?
The bad skater division? I think there'd be plenty of people signing up for that. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the second period. Hill Murray looking to make it 5-0, and they do! Number 21, Lexi Klein.
I don't know what happened with the Eden Prairie defense, though, but they just let her walk right in front of the net. Made a great shot to go upper corner on Whitney Padgett. Can't blame Padgett at all on that one. Just a big breakdown there by the Eden Prairie defense. We'll grab that one more time for you. Yeah, just a couple of players there for Eden Prairie that didn't converge on that chance. And, well, you let a player like her walk with the puck unchallenged in front of the net. Well, she'll bury that plenty of times, and I think that's why Coach Jamie Grossman going to call a timeout here.
Timeout, Eden Prairie. They trail 5-0 with 4 minutes and 11 seconds left in the second period.
We're speaking with Rob Friend at the Mulch Store. Rob, once people have finished up trimming those trees or raking those leaves, how easy is it for them to stop in at the mulch store to drop off those materials? Or maybe even pick up some mulch for next year?
Well, if you want to stop in and drop off, you come in, check in at the gate attendant, and they'll point you in the right direction after you pay a small fee. And if you're ready to pick up something to do a final garden or mulch project, pick out the product you want, pay for the fee, and we'll load up a trailer or a pickup truck if you have that. If not, we do have delivery available.
And of course, you guys have locations all over the metro area.
That's right. For locations and more information on delivery, you can check us out at our website, mulchstoremn.com.
Think about the best athletes in the world, no matter the sport. How did they rise above the competition? These athletes didn't get to the top of their game on talent alone. They trained hard, and they trained right. PTI will work with your athlete to reach new heights. They'll get a high-level customized program from a skilled professional who truly cares about and understands your athlete's needs. The results at PTI will give your son or daughter the confidence and determination to unleash their full potential. Performance Therapy Innovations, where athletes get results.
4 minutes and 11 seconds left in the second period, and Hill Murray is up 5-0. That is not a misprint. 5 different Hill Murray players have scored so far. Lexi Klein, the latest, coming at 12:49. Change at goalie. Paget has been pulled. In her place is Alexa Dobchuk, the 8th grader, and Jamie Grossman making a change, perhaps trying to get a little more energy out of the defense. But as you said, that last goal was not Paget's fault. The defense just gave Klein a big hole, and she found the seam.
Yeah, and I think once you fall behind 4 goals, it's certainly a lot tougher to move your feet. I think that was the situation there. A lot easier to hustle when you're up by 4 goals rather than down by 4.
Just tell that to Hill Murray and head coach Jake Bobrowski. Delayed penalty coming up early in the season, but another statistical anomaly. In the first 3 games, Eden Prairie had given up just 2 goals. Both came in the second period. In tonight's game, they have given up 3 goals in the second period.
Well, let's see if they can do something here to try to get some positive vibes here going into the intermission. 3:41 to go, and we're going to go on a power play, see if you can get something positive going. Maybe not necessarily in terms of winning the game, but just feeling good about yourselves.
Penalty assessed to Mackenzie Steffen. And again, it's early, so what you see here may not be what you see later in the season. Here's a scoring chance. A little bit of a mix-up, a little bit of a tanglement too, but Eden Prairie keeps possession. That's the captain, or one of the leaders, I should say, Angie Heppelman. Shot deep, deflected into the corner. But Eden Prairie now getting some attack zone time.
Yeah, Crystal and Hangler doing a good job holding the puck there on that sequence. I've been impressed with her so far on the power play units this season. First year playing varsity hockey, and she's done a nice job up at that point.
This is the first power play line for the Eagles. Boyle and Heppelman scrambling for control. There's Dahlquist.
And Hill Murray doing a good job keeping them along the rail right now for Eden Prairie, even though the Eagles have possession.
Oh, and a big collision. Checking not allowed, but that doesn't mean there aren't some hard hits between Lauren Boyle and Kenzie Prater.
That one looked like it hurt. I'm going to say, though,
Heppelman with a shot. That was stopped by Leah Patrick.
Everything along the rail here for Eden Prairie, even that shot from Heppelman from way far out. Hill Murray doing a good job not giving the Eagles the middle here on this power play.
Hangler with a shot. That went wide right, and you see how more difficult it is when you're playing from the rail. Here's a scoring chance. Oh, that was a big one, but Anna Johnson wasn't able to put it in.
Yeah, the missed clearing a chance for Hill Murray led to that chance for Anna Johnson, but good job by the goaltender to stand tall and make that save.
Eden Prairie trying to change lines. Hill Murray clears the puck, and they will kill off this power play. 1 minute 44 seconds left in the second period, and what has turned into a rout. Coming in, I thought this was going to be a push. 2 teams very close in the rankings. You consider their history from last year. Johnson with a shot that goes off the stick of Patrick. Here's another shot that almost glided in behind Patrick, coming from the stick of Ashley Astor. Couldn't get in, though. And Patrick dodging the colloquial bullets. And we have a stoppage in play with 1:13.
interesting when you go down and get those official stats. You think it's 5-0 and Hill Murray would have a huge shot advantage, but when I bet you go down there, I bet the shots are going to be pretty even. Just Hill Murray's capitalized on their chances and have, more importantly, have a lot better chances so far in this game than the Eagles.
Would you be willing to wager a play-by-play assignment on it?
I don't know about that.
Well, that's all right. Neither will
I'll wager you a pat on the back.
That's about as far as I'll wager. Less than a minute. Eden Prairie trying to get something. Yeah, not what I was expecting coming into this matchup. And for the Pioneers playing their first game, as you mentioned, though, returning a lot of players that were on the semifinal squad, or I should say the second place squad from a year ago. Couldn't quite get it done against Minnetonka, but when you get that far in the state tournament, you bring back a lot of experience, and it's showing for the Pioneers, even though they hadn't played a game until now.
Now, just approaching that 10-second mark, and who would have thought we'd have a 5-0 game going into the second intermission? I'm sure not a whole lot of people.
Naomi Rogie sends that puck into the rafters.
Yeah, low rafters here at Aldrich Arena.
In the NHL, that may have been a penalty for delay of game, but here it's just a face-off. So somebody will go up there and maybe collect a souvenir during the intermission. And the buzzer sounds. Hill Murray increases their lead to 5. It's a 5-0 game, and one of the Hill Murray fans saying 15 is a machine. I'd say the entire Pioneers squad in the first 34 minutes are a collective machine.
Yeah, they've looked really sharp so far in this game. Hard to believe this is their first regular season game so far this season, but they just look like a very composed team so far in this game. Eden Prairie's had some turnovers, some defensive breakdowns that have come back to bite them, and just all in all a good performance here by the Pioneers. I think. Did you catch the shots on goal there, Mike, or maybe we can go down and get that?
I'll go down there while they resurface the ice, and Eden Prairie will hopefully recollect themselves. Hill Murray, this is perhaps one of the most impressive opening season performances against a top 10 team.
Yeah, absolutely. Very impressive performance so far for the Pioneers, and for Eden Prairie, it'll be a chance here in the third period to try to skate away with some pride. If you can get a goal or two in that third period, gives you some positive things to think about, especially if you were to meet this team later in the season. I mean, you didn't play your best hockey these first two periods, but you win that third period, that's some stuff to build on.
We'll confirm the stats for you. We are in the second intermission of high school girls hockey here on PSB Sports.
I think I have the window seat.
You better double check that, my friend. Don't think we don't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Aaron Rodgers.
No, that's not it. You're that State Farm discount double check guy. Discount double check. Thanks to the hundreds you saved us, we could upgrade the grill class.
Grill class?
Your tongs are in your seat back.
Save with the discount double check today. Get to a better state. State Farm.
Visit Brandy Warmbier State Farm Insurance Office, located off Singletree and Flying Cloud Drive, online at brandywarmbeer.com. We're speaking with Rob Friend at the mulch store. Rob, once people have finished up trimming those trees or raking those leaves, how easy is it for them to stop in at the mulch store to drop off those materials, or maybe even pick up some mulch for next year?
Well, if you want to stop in and drop off, you come in, check in at the gate attendant, and they'll point you in the right direction after you pay a small fee. And if you're ready to pick up something to do a final garden or mulch project, pick out the product you want, pay for the fee, and we'll load up a trailer or a pickup truck if you have that. If not, we do have delivery available.
And of course, you guys have locations all over the metro area.
That's right. For locations and more information on delivery, you can check us out at our website, mulchstoremn.com.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
Think about the best athletes in the world, no matter the sport. How did they rise above the competition? These athletes didn't get to the top of their game on talent alone. They trained hard, and they trained right. PTI will work with your athlete to reach new heights. They'll get a high-level customized program from a skilled professional who truly cares about and understands your athlete's needs. The results at PTI will give your son or daughter the confidence and determination to unleash their full potential. Performance Therapy Innovations, where athletes get results.
And we're back at Aldrich Arena in Maplewood as we're in the second intermission. Hillmurray with a very surprising 5-0 lead here over the Eden Prairie Eagles. Surprising in the fact that a lot of people thought this would be a very close matchup between the number 3 and number 4 rated teams here in the state of Minnesota. Mike Peden will be along soon to pass along the official numbers to you for this hockey game. In the meantime, though, do want to remind you that we have coverage of all sorts of Bloomington and Eden Prairie sports this winter here on PSB, including our first boys hockey broadcasts coming up next Tuesday, as we'll have the Eden Prairie boys taking on Osseo. Jefferson boys will also be in action. You can catch all of those games right here on PSBMN.com. Take another time out and have third period action on the way next right here on PSB Media.
We're speaking with Rob Friend at the mulch store. Rob, once people have finished up trimming those trees or raking those leaves, how easy is it for them to stop in at the mulch store to drop off those materials, or maybe even pick up some mulch for next year?
Well, if you want to stop in and drop off, you come in, check in at the gate attendant, and they'll point you in the right direction after you pay a small fee. And if you're ready to pick up something to do a final garden or mulch project, pick out the product you want, pay for the fee, and we'll load up a trailer or a pickup truck if you have that. If not, we do have delivery available.
And of course, you guys have locations all over the metro area.
That's right. For locations and more information on delivery, you can check us out at our website, mulchstoremn.com.
Think about the best athletes in the world, no matter the sport. How did they rise above the competition? These athletes didn't get to the top of their game on talent alone. They trained hard, and they trained right. PTI will work with your athlete to reach new heights. They'll get a high-level customized program from a skilled professional who truly cares about and understands your athlete's needs. The results at PTI will give your son or daughter the confidence and determination to unleash their full potential. Performance Therapy Innovations, where athletes get results.
And we're back at Aldrich Arena as the ice has just finished its resurfacing. Zamboni. Always a sight here at the sport of hockey and in Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
There's a
oh
Zamboni
my, I forgot
enemy.
there was that.
There's
Yes.
a Zamboni enemy that are several ways to defeat it, of course. And Hill Murray has found a few ways to stifle the Eden Prairie offense. They lead 5-0, as you can see on the screen as we get ready to start the third period. Shots on goal about even, though. Eden Prairie with 23, Hill Murray with 19 after 2 periods. But it's Hill Murray making the most of their opportunities, and as you pointed out, it comes down to the transition chances. Hill Murray scoring at least a couple of those goals with numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had some odd man rushes, which they've been able to turn in their favor, and Eden Prairie's had just a couple of defensive breakdowns that haven't helped them either. Just Hill Murray's been more opportunistic, and even though the shots are pretty even, the Pioneers have definitely created the better scoring chances. I mean, with the exception of that 3 or 4 minute sequence at the beginning of the second period where I thought Eden Prairie did their best job creating offense, it's really been all Pioneers in terms of grade A scoring opportunities.
Well, it's certainly going to affect Whitney Padgett's numbers. She gave up 5 of those goals and has been pulled for Alexa Dobchuk. But here's another crazy stat. Of all the points that Hill Murray has recorded, 5 goals and 3 assists, no one has recorded 2. Everyone has 1 point.
Yeah, and you would think that would certainly be different with all the Division I caliber players that Hill Murray has.
But perhaps an indication of the balance on the Pioneers. To recap the goals as we get ready, Bonfie, of course, scored the first one back in the first period. 85 seconds in, Mackenzie Steffen got one on that transition chance. Zarembinski has an assist on that Bonfie goal. In the second period, it was Jack Kaza on a breakaway, unassisted, 6 minutes, 18 seconds into the second period. There was the goal from Kennedy Hogue with the assist from Kenzie Prater at 11:34. And then at 12:49, Lexi Klein on that open seam the Eagles gave her, took advantage of it, scoring her first of the season. The assist went to Haley Blinkhorn. Not what you're expecting out of Hill Murray, but again, 8 different players recording points. If you're Jake Bobrowski, the head coach, you have to enjoy the dispersal of production.
Yeah, and that's really what it takes to be a state championship caliber team, too. I mean, you have only a player or two that can put the puck in the net for you. That'll maybe get you to the section final, possibly the first round of the state tournament, but it's really that depth that gets you through to the semifinals and championship, and both these teams certainly do have that. I know covering Eden Prairie the last 2 years, they certainly can go 3 lines deep, and Hill Murray, just looking at their scoring summary from the game so far, they certainly can go 3 lines deep themselves.
It's one reason why there is so much continuity in the sport of girls hockey. You see a lot of teams make it to state on an annual basis, not a lot of changeover. Of course, the sport only being around for 20 years, that I'm sure will change as time progresses and more communities get caught up in the sport. Wow.
Yeah, they're going to say that went in. They blew the whistle. Well, they're going to say it was played by a high stick. I was thinking for a second maybe they said they hit the inside of the crossbar. Let's see if I can grab that on replay before we get back to action here. But that was awfully close to going in.
It's going to be a penalty against Charlie Dahlquist. I'm not quite sure what I saw in that instance, but...
Well, I saw the referee signal for a high stick, but I'm with you. I didn't see where she made that high stick. Perhaps it was behind the play.
In any case, it's a power play for the Pioneers, but one thing they haven't been able to do is convert on a power play chance.
Yeah, about the only thing
That's the only thing they
haven't done well in this game.
I'm sure Bobrowski is going to be tearing a new one into them about that.
I think they'll take 5-0.
You scored 5 goals, but you didn't get a power play? What's wrong with you? Maybe in Bizarro World.
The perfectionist.
Eden Prairie clears the puck, and that will give them a chance to change lines as they send out their second penalty kill line. Isabel Brasso, picked up by number 19, Kenzie Prater. She had the assist on the Klein goal in the second period. Samantha Boyer, we haven't called much. And Eden Prairie will clear the puck again, and that's the object of a penalty kill. If you can get a short-handed opportunity, you go for it, but the object is to simply clear the puck and eat up time.
Yeah, it's been one of the few bright spots for Eden Prairie in this game. Done a nice job keeping Hill Murray in check, not allowing a power play goal, and again going back to chances. All of Hill Murray's chances have pretty much come 5-on-5, not so much on the power play.
But that has to be encouraging, too, that you can score on your standard play opportunities as Eden Prairie clears the puck again, and that will bring out the first penalty kill line.
Yeah, certainly you don't want to rely on the other team making a penalty to get your offense in.
Because Eden Prairie is going to clean up their game. They're not going to be committing as many penalties, and I'm sure other teams, as we have a delayed penalty on Hill Murray's, as the Eagles effectively kill off this power play, so they're going to get a power play chance. No? Perhaps it was an icing call.
I was going to say, yeah, because I didn't see Dobchuk leaving the pipes. I was going to say maybe a mental lapse, but no, she was correct. It wasn't a penalty, but you're right, did see the hand in the air.
That would have been interesting. Again, still learning the finer intricacies of the sport. My knowledge mainly goes to the video game realm. I'm watching a few games.
Well, the old video game style, that's where you score every goal doing a one-timer, at least when I played it.
My strategy was simply run up to the goal, get as close as you could. I probably committed many crease violations, but it always worked. The goalie would flee in dear life, and that would give you an open seam.
Well, the real strategy was in those video games for hockey, too, was to get penalties, because then you can ice the puck. That was my strategy. I thought it was easier to score shorthanded on video games, but then again, it helps when you put the difficulty on novice or easy.
I'm sure Eden Prairie wishes they could do the same against Hill Murray, but again, this is a good challenge early on. If you're going to have a game like this, a mulligan, as they call it, get it out of the way in November so that you have this experience to draw from later on. Because it stands to reason that Eden Prairie will have a legitimate chance of qualifying to the state tournament in February. And yes, I'm talking about February again.
Well, you're absolutely right, too. Section 2 is where they play, and it's usually Eden Prairie and Edina battling for that section championship, although Bloomington's had a good squad the past few years, and who knows, that could be even stronger now that they've merged Kennedy and Jefferson together. But as you said, going back to talking about February, they'll certainly have a good chance to make the state tournament again.
Icing called against Eden Prairie. Eagles win the faceoff. Angie Hempelman's had a couple of chances. Really, everyone on Eden Prairie has a few chances as the shots on goal would serve evidence of, but the most important stat is the score, and that's where Hill Murray leads.
As you said, Hempelman's probably done the best job getting some chances for Eden Prairie. Oh, close offsides call there.
That'll stop Laura Anderson, but for the Pioneers, it's of little consequence at this point as they look to begin the 2013-14 campaign with a win.
I'd like to remind you, too, our broadcast tonight brought to you by the Mulch Store. If you're finishing up those fall projects, getting rid of leaves and yard waste, you can dispose of that at the Mulch Store as it'll be turned into compost for next spring. Find the locations on their website, mulchstoremn.com.
You think Eden Prairie will take the copy of this game and turn it into mulch?
Going back to here, how about this for an analogy? They'll turn the waste into something positive at the end of the season. Oh, man, I didn't even have time to think about that one. That was on the fly.
Maybe be calling you up for taglines.
That's right.
Eden Prairie with numbers. This is Hempelman. And that's drawn away by Rachel Herzog. Prater weaving through traffic. Shot deflected from Jessica Bonfi. Sending it over to the right side now, and Hill Murray will scoop it to the Hill Murray zone. No icing called there. And a turnover. Number 13, Josie Olson, a name we haven't called much lately. Seems like we haven't called too many Eden Prairie names, but that's because Hill Murray spends so much time in the attack zone.
That's a good observation. I mean, outside of a few names, yeah, you're right. We haven't called a lot of Eden Prairie names except when they've been clearing the puck out of their own zone, it seems like.
Or Paget in her case. And there's another save by Leah Patrick on the shot from Ashley Astor. And Patrick Just 6-0-0 last year when put in as the starter, but a save percentage of 90.5. So Patrick certainly had a pedigree coming into this season, and whatever she did during the summer or in practices, she's putting up a phenomenal performance against one of the 2A rivals.
Yeah, you said it, doing a nice job in this game, and got to give the Hill Murray defense credit as well. Sarah Bobrovsky, their big scorer, just a few minutes ago, made a big block on a shot from the point from Eden Prairie. That set up an opportunity for the Pioneers. All in all, again, as we've said, a great game that they've played so far here to get their season going.
And how does this performance speak of Hill Murray's depth when Bobrovsky, their top scorer, has not recorded a point in this one, and the Pioneers have a big margin?
It was interesting you brought that up. I forgot to ask you during that second intermission. I wanted to know if Bobrovsky had a point.
She does not.
That's a great observation, though, that you have a D1 recruit, you're up 5-0, and she doesn't have a single point. Definitely speaks to depth.
I think they may have to revoke that scholarship now.
Yeah, right. Oh, I doubt that.
No, there's no quota. And it's great to see these players. I know girls hockey gets a lot of attention around here. The Gopher women just had their 62-game winning streak ended, but they have back-to-back NCAA championships, which I'm sure is a bigger item to boast of than a streak. Although winning 62 games in a row is certainly not something you see in hockey. I know UConn's women's team had a 90-game winning streak, but once you get up to the high numbers, you start reaching unprecedented levels of aura.
Well, it's interesting, too, about that 62-game winning streak. They didn't have any ties during that streak. I mean, with the way hockey goes, usually you seem to tie 1 out of every 10 games. You would think it'd be a 62-game unbeaten streak, but it was actually a winning streak, which to me is just unfathomable to think that you could play 62 straight games without a tie.
North Dakota was the team that ended that streak. But as the locals said, the Gopher women will probably start another one and go up to 30 games or so.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't surprised that they lost this season, as they lost a ton of talent off of last year's NCAA championship squad. They were to have that streak end. Good to have it early in the season, and probably kind of gets a monkey off their back as well. Don't have to talk about it anymore.
They had a lot of adversity last season, though, including that championship game where they fell behind, so it actually got a lot of coverage to the sport, and I remember the infuriation from locals who were perturbed that the game was not available on broadcast.
Hey, I was among them. I wanted to watch that game, but it wasn't on.
You had to make your way to Ritter Arena. All 3,000 seats. I'm sure demand that day could have exceeded that twofold.
Absolutely.
It's a strong program, though, and again, still young in comparison to some of the other sports. Basketball has been around since the 70s. Volleyball, same time frame. When you begin in the 90s, it's much like the WNBA. Not to compare the two, obviously, high school and the sports in general are completely different, but it takes a while to develop the talent and to pass on the skills from generation to generation.
It's interesting now going back to this game, as we had a chance to talk about all that, and I was going to say the reason why is that it kind of seems like this game, Mike, has really settled it into a lull as we're approaching the waning minutes.
It's kind of a enhanced scrimmage. 8 minutes to go in the third and not much action. We do get a whistle.
Just as you say that, we get a big hit on the end boards. Hey, do want to remind you as well, this broadcast is brought to you by the Tavern on 4 and 5, as they'll be showing Eden Prairie boys hockey games up on the big screen. So go watch the EP boys hockey team, and also, get this, I don't know if you've had this before, cheesy tater tots. They're delicious.
I've had some cheesy tater tots, but that was one cheesy joke.
Yeah.
And I drizzled it with some cheese sauce, right?
I was going to say, the Tavern on 4 and 5, though, just phenomenal tater tots. And you can watch those hockey games on the big screen at the Tavern on 4 and 5. And as you can guess, it's located on County Road 4 and Highway 5 in Eden Prairie.
We'll have to schedule a production meeting there.
I would not disagree with that.
I don't go out to Eden Prairie much except for assignments. It's a bit of a commute for me being in St. Paul, but when you speak of cheesy tater tots, you have my attention. The penalty was assessed to Eden Prairie's Allison Koloski, and now we have another stoppage in play as there was a bit of a scuffle in the far left corner, and we're going to have a penalty on Hail Murray, so we'll have 1 minute and 26 seconds of 4-on-4 action. Brittany Anderson will go to the penalty box.
I'm sure both coaches don't want to see the end of the game get chippy with any silly penalties, but open things up a little bit here with some 4-on-4 hockey to maybe kind of break up the lull that we've been in the last few minutes.
And many hockey aficionados will tell you this, it's much easier to score with 4-on-4 than it is sometimes with 5-on-4.
Yeah, simple math. Less players on the ice creates more opportunities. And speaking of that,
space. And there's a big one, but Lauren Boyle was rebuffed by Leah Patrick.
And
she's earned my star of the game vote.
Yeah, and the defense by Hail Murray did a great job not really giving Lauren Boyle a very good angle on that opportunity as well, as Boyle had to take that from that near side almost along the goal line. Or the end line, I should say.
43 seconds left in the 4-on-4 window. Heppelman, and another save by Patrick.
That was an impressive save. It's one of the few times the Hail Murray defense didn't really close on Eden Prairie in that slot position very quickly, and Heppelman was able to get that point-blank shot on, but again, a good save was made.
Stoppage in play with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third. Teams change lines as we have an icing call against the Pioneers, and we've seen some fancy saves out of Patrick, and she's certainly not showboating. She's just showing the acrobatics, the flexibility, and her skill at that position. That 6-0 mark that she posted last season was certainly not a fluke, if this game is any indication.
That's interesting. I thought she would have played in more than 6 games last season with the way she's looked tonight.
And she may have played in additional games, but not have been eligible for a decision, much like a pitcher in baseball.
Well, I was thinking, though, I mean, just looking at the way she's playing, you would think she would have been a starter in previous years because she has so much veteran poise. I mean, she doesn't get out of position. She's not flashy with her saves, but she stops everything she's supposed to.
Delayed penalty coming up on Hail Murray, and that's going to give 9 seconds of a 2-player advantage for the Eagles, but they'll have a power play here. Maybe this will give them something.
Yeah, 5-on-3, a chance to.
You have enough time if you can win the face-off to get a quick shot.
Yeah, that's the absolute key. Yeah, winning the face-off.
But even if that doesn't work, you still have a power play for another 2 minutes.
Interesting, too, to see what will happen with the Hail Murray player when she comes out of the box, if she'll go directly on the ice or skate to the bench for a sub.
Charlie Dahlquist does win the face-off, and another save by Patrick.
Again, nothing flashy.
When you've got to deal with Patrick, it's very tough to execute anything on offense.
I was going to say nothing flashy. I know some goalies would maybe do kind of the old whip-around glove save, but she just got in good position, made a solid butterfly save. Nothing fancy, but still a good stop.
Saving those acrobatic demonstrations for when they are required. And
yeah, don't need the windmill save all the time.
At this point, you don't need to make the highlight reel. You just want to close out a dominant effort. Pass to Heppelman, not on target. Hail Murray, I should say Eden Prairie, still with a power play for 1 minute 10 seconds. They're going to fall to 3-1 though, and suffer their first loss of the season. Hail Murray will go to 1-0. Many games remain in the schedule, obviously. That shot from Boyle goes wide right.
Interesting thing to bring. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Pioneers have established themselves as a contender for the 2A title, and there's another shot opportunity. That is brushed wide left from Charlie Dahlquist. She gets another try. That goes right. Sailing every direction but the net. What were you going to add, Brett?
Well, I was going to quickly add, I'll take some heat if I'm wrong on this one, but I'm pretty sure Hillary actually is in Eden Prairie's holiday tournament, the Eagles Midwinter Meltdown in December. I could be wrong on that, though, but I thought I saw them in the bracket, so it would be interesting to see these two teams match up again if they do play each other in that tourney. Of course, if I'm wrong, though, I look like a fool.
That's all right, you're next to me, so...
There we go.
I have you usurped on the fool depth chart.
That's what happens when I'm camera and can't actually check my...
schedule.
My exact schedule on my computer.
That's all right. As long as you're with me, you will never be the biggest fool in the room. Of course, the standard bearer would have to be Minnetonka until somebody can prove they can take on the Skippers. And Eden Prairie knows all about that, being in the same conference. But when you win 3 in a row, and win last year's after playing a 6 overtime semifinal, we have a delayed penalty on Eden Prairie. Good job by the defense to stop a breakaway attempt from Becca Zarambinski, but Pioneers will get a power play. I'm not sure they will be as aggressive here with 2:54 left in regulation.
Yeah,
but
we'll
all
see.
of these wins will seem minuscule compared to Minnetonka.
Yeah, you said it, and Minnetonka, I know for sure they will be in that Eagles Midwinter Meltdown tournament. I also know Benilde will be in that tournament, so if Hillmurray's in there too, imagine that field, almost like a state tournament preview. You have Minnetonka, Benilde, St. Margaret's, Eden Prairie, and Hillmurray.
And as we said, with so much continuity in girls hockey between the two classes, if those 4 schools are competing and end up playing against each other, we could get the prelude to what we'll see in February, which I'm sure will please the fans that watch the sport. And it does have its supporters, thanks to the strong collegiate program and their influence on the national team. This is my first girls hockey assignment, interestingly enough, and I'm impressed by the athleticism. I know it was a slower paced game than the boys, but again, that has to do with the boys playing for about 50 or 60 years more than the girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams have certainly been impressive. And
there certainly is a speed to this. It's not a lollygag or a lull or any kind of slog on the ice. They're very mobile.
And Hillmurray and Eden Prairie are certainly two of the best skating teams you'll find here in Minnesota.
Hillmurray definitely, they're certainly excelling in the fundamentals, and there's a save by Alexa Dobchuk. It's worth noting that Hillmurray has not scored since Dobchuk has come in. Now you could say, well, Hillmurray's backed off on offense, but you have to take any positive at this point if you're Jamie Grossman.
Yeah, she's done a nice job coming in relief, and as you said, she hasn't seen quite the types of chances that Whitney Paget saw in the first and second period, but yeah, stuff to build on.
But you may have to take a look, because I'm curious on when the last shutout was for Eden Prairie.
I'm guessing it would probably have been during the 2011-2012 season, because I know during that season, during Jamie Grossman's first year, Eden Prairie had an inexperienced team that only finished around the 500 mark. And I know that season they really struggled to score goals.
A rare sight indeed at Aldrich Arena, the home of Hillmurray, both the boys and girls teams. Pioneers, of course, had a Miss Hockey Award recipient 2 years ago, Hannah Brandt. No state titles to speak of compared to their opponent. As we mentioned in the open, the Eagles have won in 06 and 08. Boyle had a chance, but the strong and stingy defense of Hillmurray still getting in there with less than a minute to go. And there was just a tap shot almost from Sarah Bobrowski to Dobchuk. Not necessarily conceding a scoring chance, but a subliminal respect, if you will. Acknowledging we've won the game, no need to embarrass you.
Interesting here, last 20 seconds, if Eden Prairie can break up that shutout, because certainly, as you said, don't see this site often where they have a 0 on the scoreboard.
Pioneers will start their season with the victory. Eden Prairie's undefeated mark will come to an end. They fall to 3-1, and the Hill Murray Pioneers get a quality win against a top 10 opponent, a team they met last year in the semifinal round, and this will certainly establish them as another contender, one of the perennials in Class 2A. 5-0 is the final, and all around solid game by the Pioneers.
Yeah, solid game indeed. A great way to start the season. I know a lot of people probably didn't think that they were going to win this game 5-0.
I thought coming in this was going to be more of a push, considering the history of the two schools, but to get 5 goals in your first game of the year and to have none come from your top player, Sarah Bobrowski, is going to be very enlightening as their season begins.
Yeah, you said it. That's really an insane stat to think that Bobrowski, one of the best players in Minnesota, didn't have a point in this game. But again, that just speaks to the depth of Hill Murray, and what a way to start the year.
Final shot count, Eden Prairie with 28, Hill Murray with 26, and I think Bobrowski may have slacked off tonight. No, we're kidding. I'm sure she'll get plenty of opportunities to register on the stat sheet throughout the season. But let's go through the final numbers for you. We discussed the shots on goal. Pretty even there, of course, the score, a big difference. Things started off 85 seconds into this contest with Jessica Bonfie with an assist from Becca Zarembinski. And then later in the first period, Mackenzie Steffen, the sophomore defender, had a goal at 11:45. In the second period, Jack Kaza with the breakaway goal, the sophomore forward, at 6:18. Kennedy Hogue at 11:34 got one with an assist from Kenzie Prater, and then Lexi Klein finished out the scoring for Hill Murray on that kind of freakish seam that was open by the Eden Prairie defense at 12:49. Haley Blinkhorn recorded the assist. Your final thoughts, Brett?
Yeah, I want to remind you again, though, that this post-game show brought to you by the Sun Current, your local community source for over 50 years. They're now mobile as well. Current.mn.sun is their website. But yeah, final thoughts on this game. A learning experience for Eden Prairie is, even though they held the shot advantage by 2, I think Hill Murray certainly won the time of possession battle, and it'll be a learning experience for them heading into the rest of the season to lose 5-0. Just had some defensive lapses and also had some turnovers that were uncharacteristic. And on the other hand, for Hill Murray, could not ask for a better start for them. Just the balance was so surprising in this game. 8 different players, I believe, registered a point for the Pioneers. And of course, you also have to talk to their netminder as well. How impressive she was. Yeah, Nia Patrick really, again, not being flashy with a glove or anything, but making the save she should and staying in good position. And I think impressive, too, that she didn't really have to make any sprawling saves. That's just how solid and steady of a goaltender she is.
Leah Patrick is a name that will come up on search engines frequently this season if she can continue this performance that she put up in this first game. And just to go off what you said, the shots on goal about even, but it came down to quality opportunities. Hill Murray scored their goals in transition, whether it was a breakaway or with numbers. Eden Prairie, a lot of their shots came on 5-on-5. Any of those transition opportunities, the Hill Murray defense was able to intercept them and send the puck away.
Yeah, absolutely, and you said it pretty much there. And this will look like an interesting score in the media tomorrow. I'm sure a lot of people didn't call 5-0.
A lot of people didn't call 5-0, but that's why we played them. But as we said, it's early. A lot of hockey to be played before the state tournament begins in February. And, of course, the teams have to get through sections before that. So, certainly you can't draw too many overarching conclusions. But strong start for Hill Murray. Eden Prairie will have some work to do. That concludes our coverage here from Aldrich Arena. Pioneers win 5-0. For Brett Johnson and everyone else here at PSB Sports, I'm Mike Beaton. You can follow us on Twitter at PSBMN and get an update on our broadcast schedule by going to PSBMN.com. Thank you for watching. Have a safe night.
Thanks for tuning in to live local play-by-play coverage of the Eagles High School sports. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you by Umbria Gourmet Pizzeria, The Mulch Store, Alpha Investment Advisors, Performance Therapy Innovations, Brandy Warmbier State Farm Insurance Office, and Healthy Training. Keep it tuned to PSBMN.com for more broadcasts of Eagles High School sports.